So welcome back to Worthington Model Railway, and tonight I'm going to look at these three brake vans. So in my usual fashion, I ordered some brake vans, well, quite a few months ago, and I lost them. I'm not quite sure what went on there, but I know that I ordered them, and I know that they came, and I can't find them. So I ordered some more in typical fashion, and of course I ordered these back in July, so they've been here for a little while. Good that I was able to order them then, because I can't really order much right now. But anyway, two of them are Bachmann and one is Hornby. So I thought we'd kind of look at them and see the differences between the three different brake vans here. So having made that statement, I kind of went, this is crazy. They got to be floating around somewhere. Well, two of them were actually in plain sight on the layout. And the rest of them were in a box sitting underneath my desk. I say my desk, my workbench, over in the shed by the layout. So I pulled them all out, and we'll go through them. Let's see what we have, and we'll do a little bit of a comparison on some of these different brake vans. The thing that immediately sort of comes to mind is some of them have ducats and some of them don't. And as brake vans were pulled into BR in the 50s, the ones without ducats were kind of limited to local traffic. And the ducats are kind of different depending upon the vans, but as you see, most of these are the same design of van. They're just either Bachmann or Hornby. Anyway, let's work through and see what we've got here. So the first two that I'm going to look at here are what I would call the local brake vans, because they don't have ducats. And these are both Oxford Rail, and they're basically the same design. They just have some different detail. So you will see this one says Wolverhampton RU not in common use. And the not in common use is the reference to the fact that it can only be used on local trains. And you'll see also this one says not in common use. So let's have a closer look at both of these. So this is a 24-ton six-wheel wagon. And as you see, it says not in common use. It says Borsley Junction on there. There is some reasonable detail that Oxford Rail give us at a pretty low price on these. I can't really see how much detail there is inside of there, but I think there's some, and we've certainly got the brake wheel on the porch here. And it's actually they look quite nice. Buffers are not sprung, but really don't expect it at this sort of price. So yeah, nice brake van. And so the other one is also a six-wheel. This one says Wolverhampton, not in common use, with the number, and 24 ton the same way. It's basically exactly the same design, just done in a slightly different way. Nice brake van, and yeah. Well, let's move on and see what else we have here. So here we have a ex-Southern brake van. I can't really read that plate. It says not to work between, but I can't make out what the stations are. Maybe Maybe you can from the camera, I don't know. 22-ton van by the looks of things. Again, it's got porch on both ends. And I don't know how much detail there is internally inside this, but looks kind of nice. This is a Hornby, and it kind of looks like there's some considerable detail inside there, but maybe unless I take it apart, I don't know that we're going to see that. But again, a nice brake van. So this time we got a Hornby 20-ton van, and this is obviously originally from Northeastern, and has some interesting additional roof detail there. I'm not sure how much of what's going on inside we can or can't see there, but I think that has detail on the inside too. The ducats are nice. This also has lamps up there. They're not illuminated, but it's nice to see the lamps on the sides there. Obviously they would be white to the front and red to the back. That was the nature of the lamps on these. How much of that we can see, but there's some nice detail there on the sole bar. So these are all the same, although we have a mix here of Bachmann and Hornby. So let's kind of take a quick look at the differences between them. I don't know if you can actually tell which is which from this, but hopefully once we have a look at each one of these individually, we can tell the difference between the Bachmann and the Hornby versions. So these are all British Rail 20-ton brake vans, kind of a similar era. Some of them are a little earlier than others, and we can tell that by the flashes here that are showing on the sides there. But other than that, not a lot of difference. These are all pre-tops, and the major difference that we see here is this one is in bauxite BR and the others are all in grey. So let's grab a couple of them and look at them. So as I said earlier, I bought some, lost them, and it turns out that I bought two of the same. So these two are actually identical. That we can see the running number there on them. 20-ton brake vans. That one is looks like 950903, and this is the same running number. Now, of course, on the layout behind different trains, probably no one's ever going to notice that I got two trains with the same running number brake van on them, but that's the scenario here. They are nicely done. There's a lot of detail in them, a lot of separately fitted parts, and the ducats are nice, and looks like there is a certain amount of detail inside. How much of that you can actually see, I'm not really sure, but we can see right through there. So these are both Bachmann, and there's another Bachmann one here. The question is, do you know which one it is? Well, it's this one. This is the Bachmann one, and this one is weathered. So let's move these out of the way. We'll look at the weathered one. Really no difference apart from the fact that it has very light weathering on it. It's not particularly heavy. So we quite like the weathering. that's on that. And then if we look at these two are both the Hornby ones. And obviously, again, this one is weathered. And the weathering is nicely done. It really is very difficult to tell these apart. The lamp irons are kind of slightly, maybe a tiny bit different, but not much else. And I don't know what there is in terms of detail, in terms of the Hornby one, that may be different to the Bachmann one. And obviously this one is a little later because it has the yellow ends, but it's still pre-tops, probably just pre-tops, but right era for what I'm running. And again, kind of nicely done. And then if we take the Bachmann one and put it next to the Hornby one, kind of difficult to actually determine which is which. Very, very similar in terms of the way they're done. Maybe the roof detail is just a tad different, but nothing really major in terms of, let's turn that one the same way so we can see the roof detail on all four of them. So, interesting, nice brake vans. One of the things that I'm sort of thinking about doing is adding lights to these. Generally speaking, the brake vans did run with rear-facing red lights and front-facing white lights, and I do have some fairly tiny LEDs which I think I could add to these, which would probably enhance the detail in terms of them running, particularly if I'm going to start running stuff that's looking like it's running at night with all the lights and everything on. So maybe we will attack these and see what we can do in terms of adding some lights to them. But just an interesting exercise to see the difference between these Bachmann and Hornby 20-ton brake vans. Well, thanks for watching. Interesting to look at all these different brake vans that were running on British Railways at about the same time, and obviously, you know, they came from a lot of the pre-grouping era stuff. So if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, you can do that with the button to the top right, and there'll be another video to the top left.